2024 is going to be an epic year as well as an epic battle. Let's talk about how we can start preparing ourselves now. I'm going to show you 7 steps that you need to know to be able to activate your ascension process. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean, and I work together with an interdimensional, interuniversal, and extraterrestrial force known as Telstar, along with Archangel Michael. So it's time that we begin to look at the coming year of 2024 and all of the events that are leading up to that. I think 2024 is going to be an epic battle. I think it's going to represent a turning point in which we are going to be going in one direction or another. And where things end up is going to depend on how we handle our individual lives and our consciousness. We are entering into an epic battle for our consciousness and our souls. Now, the only way to come out of this in a good way is to fully and consciously activate our own ascension process. So in this video, I'm going to explain exactly what ascension is and the 7 steps that you can use to come into full activation of your ascension process. Now, we all talk a lot about ascension, but now we have to get very serious about activating our ascension process, because that's the only way that we will have the necessary strength to get us through the coming days. And actually, it's the only way that we can have a truly positive influence on the outcome. So let's talk about what ascension looks like from a passive place, and then I'll show you what it looks like from an active place. So let's start this way. I'm going to share with you some examples of what ascension looks like when viewed from a passive place. It's seen as a future event that will happen to us. The focus is often on prophecies as a point of validation. It is often believed that ascension is an invisible force that acts upon us in unseen ways and causes a lot of symptoms and discomfort. Unpleasant things that we might experience on emotional and psychological levels are often said to be caused by forces of ascension. Some people also believe that ascension refers to extraterrestrials coming to save and coming to get all of the high vibrational light workers. And it is also believed by some that the sun causes ascension. Now, all of these ideas have one thing in common. They all presuppose that ascension is sourced on the outside, that it comes from outside of us. It's believed that as long as we keep our vibration high and that we're good in some predefined way, that whatever causes ascension from outside of us will look kindly on us and cause us to ascend. All we have to do is follow certain spiritual advice, and we will be rewarded and taken up to a higher dimension by this invisible force. Now, this perspective is very similar to what religions have been promoting for thousands of years. Follow the rules and do good, and your reward will be to land in heaven. But here's the thing. If all ascension required from us was to follow a few spiritual rules and rituals, then it would have happened ages ago. If it was that easy, most people would have complied, and we would be far, far beyond where we are now. Yet here we sit as a civilization in worse shape than ever. Clearly, there's a missing ingredient somewhere in this philosophy. The missing ingredient is us. Ascension is a co-creative act. That means that if one side of the equation is passive and obedient, then that side is inactive. You can almost look at it like a chemical reaction or like alchemy. If you have two forces that need to be active in order to produce a certain result, like alchemy or transmutation, you can't have one of those two forces being basically inert and then expect a change. The two forces necessary for human ascension are active human consciousness, along with the always active consciousness of the higher universe. Both of these forces need to come together in equal measure. Both need to be active in order for the alchemy of ascension to occur. The belief in ascension passivity means that no matter how much we wish for or believe in ascension, it cannot take place. It is quite literally a matter of science. So let's talk about what ascension really is and how it works. Ascension is another word for evolution. To understand ascension, we need to get a grasp on how far we have fallen away from our natural, most empowered selves. Now, as a human civilization, we have pretty much hit rock bottom. Why do I say that? It's because we have reached a point that is so low that we can literally be consumed by an alien species of AI. We have allowed ourselves to become that vulnerable. Now, as a species, we are being torn limb from limb. We don't need to know what sex we are anymore. We can chop off body parts if someone says we're in the wrong body. We collectively are mostly fine if someone says we need to cover our faces so that we can barely breathe. And you know the rest of it, right? I mean, I'm probably going to get more and more limited about what I can say here, but you guys know the story, right? We've talked about it so long and at such length. So I think you kind of get the picture of what I'm talking about when it comes to our civilization having hit rock bottom. And in addition to that, we have war, chaos, and poverty everywhere. And as a collective, we are mostly fine with turning our minds over to AI. We are turning into bizarre, non-thinking tribes who believe that the current purpose in life is to defend some ideology that was invented by someone else. And now, collectively, we are kind of adopting a mob mentality. And overall respect for human life is essentially gone. So we are way down here somewhere. And this is a very far cry from who we are as a creator species. Now, I guess you could put it in a nutshell by saying that all of our natural human cultures and values are being destroyed. Now, culture is very important because it provides the framework and the environment for our ascension process. And values are important because they serve as our guiding light. So look at it this way. Everything that we as human beings naturally value, all of those values are being systematically destroyed because that is the equivalent of turning off our natural guiding light as human beings. And that's why they want to destroy those values. The idea is to replace those values with a whole new set of values that are only valuable to the controllers and AI. Oh, and by the way, these controllers will be swallowed up by AI too. They just don't know it yet. But that's how it always turns out when AI wins in these types of planetary situations. So here we sit at the bottom of a situation that is being created by a bunch of literally self-destructive, crazy people. Now, if we just look around and we say, it's okay because in the end, God wins and we will ascend. If we say that, then we are doomed Because it's not about God winning. This is not some cosmic sports event. It's not some weird cosmic game about who wins and loses. God doesn't need to win anything. I mean, do you really think the creator of all that is needs to win at something? That doesn't even make any sense. It's us who need to get out of that mindset so that we can truly wake up and learn to activate our own ascension. Because ascension happens according to very specific laws and principles of evolution in this universe. It's not about who wins. So we activate our ascension by having a clear intention that is based upon a simple knowledge of reality. The reality that I'm talking about is the one that our own hearts broadcast to us each and every moment. So now let me share with you the 7 steps about how to get oriented in your own ascension process. Now, these 7 steps are not necessarily always in a linear order. That's because ascension is not a function of linear time as we currently understand it. Step 1 is to get centered. Get centered within yourself by following your breath. This puts you in direct touch with the life force that keeps you alive. And this is something that you should strive for every single day. See, the goal is to live from an authentic, centered place as a human being at all times. So the best way to engage with this step is to start with daily morning meditation and then remind yourself to reset into that centered space as often as you can. Step 2 is to know your inner world. Once you learn to find your center, you want to begin an ongoing process of getting to know your inner world. Notice the flow of your emotions and your thoughts. Feel the flow or the rigidity of your physical body. What areas of your body feel unconscious? The point in all of this is to strive to become fully present in your physical body. And that also includes your emotions and your thoughts, because all of it is one holistic system of experience. Now, step 3 is to be clear about your goal. Now that you are becoming more oriented from within, the next step is to be crystal clear about your goal. What do you need to accomplish? Well, your goal is very simple. You want to encourage the light and love that you are to flow naturally throughout your being and then out into the world. Your aim is to become an authentic and visible manifestation of who you really are as an infinite being of higher consciousness. Step number 4 is to see the blocks. Pay attention to all of the areas where you notice that your natural outward expression of self is blocked. These blocks are comprised of dense, stuck energy in the form of thoughts, emotions, and physical manifestations. The more of this dense, unreleased energy that you hold onto and repress, the more drained, stuck, and unmotivated you will feel. The biggest problem occurs when we believe that such density is a part of who we are. Thus, we tend to hold onto it out of fear about our survival of self. Now, our true self wants desperately to be freed from the prison of density and resistance. But the ego wants us to hold on to all that stuff in its current form. Now, the more of this unwanted density that you hold onto, the more difficult it will be to ascend. That's because ascension requires a higher vibration that is less dense. And these unwanted densities that prevent a natural, unimpeded flow of your energy have to exist at a much lower vibration in order to be maintained. So you want to begin to notice all of the places where such blocks exist. Now, step number 5 is elevated translation. Now you want to translate all of this into frequency and energy. In this step, you want to stop seeing everything as the sum of the parts. It's time to understand that your body, your mind, and your emotions comprise one singular energy field that currently exists as the vehicle for your infinite presence here on planet Earth. Now, the cool thing is that you can make this translation experientially at any moment that you choose. The advantage in doing this is that it takes the conscious thinking mind out of the equation and goes beyond the capacity of the ego to get involved. From here, you are dealing with pure energy, and then it's much easier to move into transmutation and mastery of your energy field. Now, step 6 is ascension activation. You will not be able to ascend until you understand your entire being as frequency and energy. I mean, that's just common sense. Now, this does not mean an either-or situation. What it means is to expand your consciousness to a level where you can simultaneously hold your consciousness at the denser level of the consciously perceiving mind and also at the higher level of pure energy. This is when you are at a level to consciously activate your own ascension. And finally, step number 7 is universal sovereignty. Universal sovereignty represents the full level of creatorship. It means that you recognize yourself as a sovereign creator in the universe. This is where you are able to fully step into your power and realize that you can evolve into having full command over your experience here on Earth and in the universe itself. You are now ready to partner with the universe at a quantum level. Now, what we call the universe is actually the quantum field of information or the quantum field of infinite possibilities. It is backed by a higher intelligence that we often refer to as the creator or as the source of all that is. Do you remember at the beginning of this video when I talked about the two forces that together produce the alchemy of ascension, and that both forces need to be present in order to produce that result? Well, one of those ascension forces is you, and the other is the universe. So look at it this way, and I think this will really come together for you and make a lot of sense. Now, the totality of the entire universe exists at a quantum level. That's the level that exists before anything manifests as creation. Now, you also are sourced at a quantum level. The quantum field is the place from which your true ideal self is birthed. Your original blueprint, that beautiful, perfect blueprint of you, is in the quantum field right now. See, the real you exists at a much higher level of consciousness. So we currently sit here on Earth at a much lower, denser level of consciousness. If we get stuck here and live as though this is all there is, then we will remain stuck and at the mercy of whoever is in control. So we need to expand our consciousness to the quantum level of our origin so we can meet the universe there and start to manifest the true meaning of ascension. I'm bringing this up now because we are going to need to restore this power for ourselves in the coming days ahead. See, we need to exist as the stronger force of energy on this planet. We cannot merely deal with our situation on a purely physical level. It's really too late for that, but we can do it on a quantum level. It's only at the quantum level that we have true power in a situation like the one on this planet. The quantum level is the canvas from which can emerge the reality that we want to create. Now, when you explore the 7 steps that I outlined for you, you are going to get some amazing clarity for yourself. See, your larger goal is to move your energy into a state that most closely matches your highest, most beautiful self. You want to be able to see and feel that state and then bring your consciousness and energy in resonance with that state. This is how you take command of your own ascension process. The more that you shift your energy into that higher state, the faster that you will be able to defy the so-called odds and create a life that is in keeping with the wonderfulness and the abundance that you truly deserve. And the less power and energy that these controllers will be able to siphon out of your consciousness. See, the larger point is that whether you are on this planet or somewhere else in the universe, you are always going to crave love, joy, peace, and beauty. You are always going to crave an abundance of opportunity to create, because that's who we are. So we might as well get to work and start creating that for ourselves now, because that desire is never going to go away. It's not supposed to go away. It's supposed to serve as your lighthouse of truth to keep you motivated and devoted to your own ascension and evolution until you finally reach that place that your heart can call home. So I really want to encourage you all to explore those 7 steps and really contemplate the things I've shared with you today about ascension. Because when you explore those 7 steps, all of which are entirely natural to you as a human being, you are going to feel like you have some space in your life, in your experience, that is away from all this chaos and insanity. See, we're not really fully trapped here. It feels like we are, but we're not. Because we have this entire arena of exploration, such as what I shared with you today, that these controllers cannot touch. They don't have access to any of the things that I have shared with you today. And when you get really situated in that kind of an experience, that kind of a consciousness, that's actually when you feel more free to observe their shenanigans, observe the stuff they're doing in the world, so you can very gracefully move around it and not get crushed by it. And we need to know what's going on, right? So we don't get crushed by it. But you can observe it and notice it and be aware of it and still be in peace with yourself and your life, because you know that you are living from a place that they cannot touch. You know that you are living from a place where you have your power, where you are sovereign in the universe, no matter what kind of junk and stupid games they're playing here on Earth. So this is really, what I'm describing to you now is the spirit with which I share with you all the things I share with you here. I talk a lot about what the controllers are up to, what maybe is in front of us. You guys have probably, if you've been following me, you've probably seen all those videos. But there's also a balance, of course. Like, we want to be the center of our own experience. We don't want that junk to be our center. But we also don't want to live in fear. See, if you live in fear of what's going on in the world, it just means that you're afraid you're going to get drawn into it. And oh my goodness, what if that happens to me? But if you understand what I've shared with you here today, you can be centered, you can be fulfilled in your own consciousness in such a way that you don't have to be in that state of fear. That you can see all this junk for what it is, and yet you are in a higher place. You're literally functioning multidimensionally. Do you realize that? When you start functioning in life from a quantum level, you are now functioning multidimensionally, interdimensionally. You're learning to do that. Your life now has meaning because you are evolving. And the 7 steps that I shared with you are designed to show you a space within which you can pursue your ascension, you can pursue your evolution in a space that those characters, those creatures, those weirdo controllers cannot touch. They cannot enter into that space. So I hope you all have found this really helpful. I hope it has inspired you and motivated you to be able to live in the middle of all this craziness, but yet not allow it to hold you back. Now, before I go, I want to talk to you again about the Healy device, this frequency device. Well, that's a pretty lame title for something like this. It's quite miraculous because it's not in the category of all the other frequency devices that you've no doubt heard of. It's in a completely different category because it's the only thing on the market that has quantum technology built into it, state-of-the-art quantum technology. And I want to share a little bit with you guys as we go forward, on our journey together. Here and there, I want to share with you a little bit here and there about my experience with this thing. Now, I'm going to say something that sounds really radical. I feel like this is extraterrestrial technology. Now, before you jump all over that, let me explain. You guys know I do not use the word extraterrestrial the way that other people do. I don't mean, oh, this thing must have fallen out of a spaceship somewhere. No, that's not what I mean. When I say extraterrestrial, I mean beyond Earth, beyond our third dimension of physicality. Because when you have quantum technology built into a frequency device like this, I mean physically built into it. It's not like, I know a lot of people say, oh, quantum this, quantum that, but this is actually the real deal, you guys. This is real. This is the real scientific truth of the fact that this can even be done. And when I first got this, I don't know when it was, I think it was the beginning of the year sometime, I was like, where did this come from? How did this get here? I mean, I literally said that. How did this thing even get here? Now, I know it came from a company in Germany. I know there was a beautiful inventor who created this in conjunction with other people and engineers and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's a real physical technology. But at the same time, I'm thinking, how is it possible that somebody created a device that literally weighs next to nothing, that you can wear, you can stick it in your pocket, it's like effortless to use it, that for me connected me to the quantum field. And that's one of the reasons I feel so enthusiastic about sharing some of the things I've shared with you here today, because for me now, this is a real experience. This is not like philosophical or hypothetical. This is like an actual real experience for me. What I refer to this as a partner in a way. It's like something you partner with that really accelerates and clarifies. Because see, when you're dealing with something that directly connects to the quantum field, You are, how could I say it? You're penetrating through all the density, all those layers, all the dimensions between us and that higher quantum field from which all creation emerges. So it's kind of like, sort of like a spaceship in a way, that just cuts through all that junk and takes you there. And then you see, oh, wow, this is amazing. We really are not limited to time and space as we have always known it. We can be here on planet Earth, we can be here in the third dimension, completely anchored physically in time and space as we understand it, but simultaneously, we can also be at all these other levels that transcend time and space at a conscious level. I mean, it's truly amazing. Now, I want to tell you guys about another functionality of this that's absolutely blown my mind. You can actually use this little device to send frequencies to anyone, anything, anywhere on Earth. The reason you can do that is because it connects to the quantum field where everything exists. So it can locate something in the quantum and send frequencies via the quantum field to that person, place, thing, or whatever. So as I said, because it functions at a quantum level, some of its functions are not bound by time and space as we understand it. Isn't that totally amazing? Now, I know some people have looked into this and they've told me, oh, Saratoga, it's too expensive. I don't think I'm interested in that. It's just too much money. And guys, it's not too much money for what it does. It's really not. And besides, if you don't like it, you got 2 weeks, you can send it back and get all your money back. So there's no risk in that. But honestly, it's not too expensive. Trust me, it is definitely not too expensive. I mean, you're talking about something that can address with frequencies your physical body, your mind, your emotions, your aura, your chakras, ancestral stuff. I mean, it's quantum, guys. It's like everything. It's amazing. So I'm going to leave a link in the description below if you want to look into it further. And please, if you have any questions or you want to know more from me specifically about this device, please feel free to email me. I will put the email address there as well because I'm so moved, really, by the fact that this exists with where we are on this planet today. I mean, really, what more could we ask for? Seriously. So yeah, I literally feel that I would be remiss if I just kept it my little secret. I'm not going to tell anybody. I mean, that would just be weird. Like, why would I do that? So anyway, check it out if you feel inspired. And I will be posting another video next Tuesday. So I'll see you guys then. I don't know what it's going to be about, but we'll see. I'm just really happy to be back with you guys again. I didn't really share anything with you about my break, which was really quite an awesome experience. So maybe if I can fit that into another video, I will share with you what I learned there as well. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it out with anyone else you know who you think would like to know those 7 steps to activate their own ascension. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that notification bell because I am here on Tuesdays with all new videos. And with that, I'm sending you all so much love, light, and high vibrational energy. I love you all so much. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Namaste.